Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Birth Your Vision podcast. And I'm your host, Hannah Kupuli. I'm so excited today to welcome an amazing guest to this amazing platform. And so, in today's episode, I have the beautiful Simone, who is going to be talking all about the importance of mentoring. And she's the founder and the managing director of Build Your Vision Coaching and Consultancy Company. So, coaching and mentoring is definitely vital, especially in workplace, as well as, running your own business. And so these things are so important. And so, for your organization, it's important that you have a program in terms of mentoring your managers, your HR team. And so we're going to be diving into many of those strategies today. And she's going to be taking us through how we can actually implement mentoring into our workplace as well as our businesses as well. But just before I welcome my guest to start, this wonderful episode, just let me introduce who she is. So she has a wealth of experience within the personal development, coaching, business, growth management, operations management, marketing, and people management. Starting a career in 2002, she has worked for some of the biggest global and international brands with the retail industry. And, she has actually attained senior positions, which permitted her to have full responsibility as well as accountability for running stores while some dual site location. And, one of her key strengths and passion is to actually help people. She enjoys seeing her staff members and colleagues, clients, and family members grow and develop their true potential. So, without further ado, welcome the Queen herself, Miss Phillips. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you, Hannah, for having me. I'm really well. I'm really, really well.
You are
What an
welcome.
intro. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Birth Your Vision platform. It's so great to see you. I just wanted to share with everyone how we have been able to connect. There is this power of really attracting, the right people, the right audience. And it's so amazing that we were able to actually connect on Instagram. I remember seeing your message and I thought, wow, amazing. Another great woman who wants to be visible, who wants to be seen through podcasting. So welcome to this platform.
Thanks for having me.
You
Honestly,
are
Hannah, thank
welcome.
you.
Fantastic. What a great bio and your journey, your career. You have all this amazing management professional skills behind you. And, let's kick off in terms of what made you, go into mentoring really.
Well, I can tell you about my program in terms of
Yes.
what I offer. So I help transform managers into effective leaders. That's my main strength. That's what I love to focus on, and I
Great.
do this in three different ways or three different styles to
Mhm.
help three different types of audiences. So the first one is my most popular. So I help mentor managers within the workplace. So that's mainly corporate spaces. I
Yeah.
go into the workplace. The program is for 16 weeks, and we
Mhm.
work weekly, one-to-one on different. We have a different focus each week. I give them the skills. We work on the knowledge. They go out into the workplace and actually do what I've asked them to do in terms of their homework. Um, and it's really, really good just to be. The program's basically for anyone who's a people manager. If you're a people manager, supervisors, team leaders, directors
Mhm.
if you manage people, then the program is basically for you. Then I
Mhm.
have a separate mentoring program for entrepreneurs or solo entrepreneurs, and I help
Yes.
them and with their confidence, with their limiting beliefs, hope getting them organized, helping them to overcome procrastination. That's a big thing, whether you're an
Yes.
entrepreneur or working in the workplace. Procrastination is a big one that we all need to try and get over. So I help them to get over that. That's their support network. I'm almost like their soundboard, because being in business, it can be so lonely when you're the person creating the content, you're the
Yes.
one that's got to do everything. It can be a lonely place. So I work with my entrepreneurs, and that's roughly around 24 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on the type of business that I'm working with. And then
Yeah.
I've recently started to do business mentoring as well, almost similar to like business consultancy. Now,
Right.
with this one, I work with startups, and I also work with businesses who are looking to grow, but they don't know how to grow. Or I work with I'm taking on a lot of clients at the moment who are very creative. So they're
Mm.
fantastic at what they're doing. However, they may not have the skill set or the time. A lot of it's to do with time,
Yeah.
where they need to restructure their business, they need to put strategic plans in place, or they may have a team, they need to put processes in place, they need to put policy in place from a HR standpoint. But because they're so busy in the creative world, they don't necessarily have the correct time frame to get all of these things done. So I work with a lot of businesses in that remit. So those are my pillars. And the reason
Mm.
why, in terms of my business consultancy or business mentoring, that's minimum 6 months to a year. I work with my clients on almost like a retainer fee. So that's how I
Right.
like to work with them. So in terms of my style, I'm very personable. I like to get to know my clients. Like, we're friends, we go out
Yeah.
for coffee. I like to get to know them. And the reason why, there's two reasons why I do that. The first reason is it takes 66 days to create a habit, as we
Yeah.
all know. So
Mm.
if I could easily do a quick 1 day course, but I know I could do a course to around 20 people, but I know
Mm.
once they leave the that course, they will probably forget everything that I've told them, and that's a waste of
Exactly.
money to the organization. But
Hmm.
with my courses and with my programs, they're more long term, because we're trying to change that behavior, we're trying to change a habit, and that's a long term fix. It's not a quick six
Mm.
hour, 2 hour, half an hour course on leadership and management. It doesn't work that way, because like I said before, we're trying to change those habits, and we're
Mm.
trying to change those behaviors. So that's the
Yeah.
one reason why my courses are long. Um, the second reason is, again, I like to get to know my clients on that personable level. And the reason why I like to do that is because I get to know them and I get to know how they like to work. I have clients who are very informal, so
Right.
there's no
Yeah.
point in me meeting them in a suit, because they will they will look at me and be like, Simone, what you doing? I can you have a meeting with them and being trainers, and that's absolutely acceptable for them. But then I have other clients where I may need to put on a suit and wear, so it's understanding who they are, understanding my clients, to get the best out of them. And it's a two-way relationship. So
Yeah.
that's a bit about me. And really.
That's a big, a big long answer, isn't it? It's almost like you've covered sort of like three questions in one. That's really good. And I love that you're very vibrant and very outspoken. And, it really shows your confidence. And, I wanted to speak more about relationship building, because you said you like to get to know your clients, which is what I also love to do as well. I think creating a program that consists of accountability, it's really amazing, because you're able to guide them through, the first stages where they feel unsure, where they've been procrastinating for God knows how long. And
This is it.
finally, they're now on this program and they feel confident within themselves. And so to also add the bonus of you being, an accountability mentoring coach to them is almost like, whoa, that's an extra. And it allows them to actually finish and complete the program, which makes you happy. And there is happiness on both ends. And,
This
this
is
yields
it.
results. Yeah, absolutely. And I really love that. And, talking about mentoring, it's got amazing benefits. Would you agree?
100%.
100%
100%.
right. Because, people benefit from mentoring, and it can actually improve their communication skills, their personal skills, and even develop them as leaders, as well as helping them to be able to manage the qualities in which that they have, especially management quality, which you've already mentioned. And so I just wanted to know, given that you've got this amazing experience, how was you inspired, right? What really motivated you to actually start build your vision?
Yes, so there's a story behind this.
Yeah.
So, so 18 years ago, I'm showing my age now. I know I don't look that old, but I am getting old.
You look fabulous and young.
So 18 years ago, I started in my first retail job.
Yeah.
And I had a manager. She was fantastic. Like, she was really supportive, really guided me, trained me, developed me, pushed me out of my comfort zone. Really got me doing things that I was like, oh, not too sure I should do this, so on and so forth. And she really just promoted me up. So I had different type of roles within that organization,
Yeah.
and she was just really just great support. And throughout the years, now I've been in retail for quite some time now, over like 17 to 18 years now I've been in retail. And
Mm.
it dawned on me a few years ago that I've actually never had a manager like her.
Yeah.
What I find is a lot of managers that I had, they were they were okay, but they wasn't managing me or managing the teams effectively. And then
Mm.
when I had to sit down and reflect and dissect about a few things, I realized that a lot of my managers, they were able to do the job in terms of the skill set, but in terms of managing people, they didn't have that quality or ability to do that. And
Mm.
the reason why, what we find in workplaces today, is a lot of people get promoted into a management position because they can do the skill set. However, they don't know how to manage people. And then organizations, they don't necessarily put that individual on a training course or give them a buddy or a mentor.
Mm.
And then you're opening up a whole can of worms now, because you're dealing with someone that's been promoted. They want to, you know, achieve results. They want to, succeed in their role. So that puts a lot of
Yeah.
pressure on them. Then they start dealing with confidence issues, then low self-esteem. Then all these insecurities start to creep in.
Mm.
Now, there's types of managers where that low self-esteem and lack of confidence
Yeah.
then has a negative effect on their team, because they're not managing their teams effectively or properly. They're not giving praise, they're not giving development, they're not even having monthly one-to-ones with their teams. That damages the staff members. Then really good, passionate employees become demotivated.
Right.
It creates a negative culture
Mm-hmm.
and morale within the workplaces. Then
Yeah.
really great people leave. That's what
Mm.
tends to happen. Now, for a business or an organization, that is a lot of money. If you think about recruitment, agency, the interview process, the training, the new starter up, that whole process is so expensive and so long-winded. Get it right first time. When you're promoting a manager, get them the adequate training to manage people effectively. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I started Build Your Vision, because I was negatively affected by having managers who didn't quite have that people manager skill set, and I was damaged from that
Mm.
process. And I just thought to myself, I don't want people to feel how I felt. So that's the reason why I launched Build Your Vision. I think naturally I have that ability to I have a passion to help people as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that the two go hand in hand. So that's the reason why. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely right, because some people have the skills and others, and those that have the skills, they may lack managing skills, how to
This
manage
is
people,
it.
because it's so important in the workplace to be able to manage your team, to be consistent and be able to deliver. It's all about teamwork and team effort. So it's very important.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing that great nugget. And, I wanted to know, what advice would you actually give to someone who wants to become a mentor?
So I've got a few things here. So number
Yeah.
one, it's
Mm.
the ability to be your true, authentic self. There's no point. There's no point in putting on a mask, because
Yeah,
when you're managing your business, and you're, especially a mentoring business, you're on your own pretty much,
absolutely.
and it's draining. What's the point in wearing a mask? That's the whole. It's just too much. Just be your true self. People
Right.
will either love you or they don't. Just be
Hmm.
true to who you are. um, you need to be passionate about helping people, because mentoring is all about seeing people grow, seeing people develop, and helping them, giving them guidance, giving them that support. So you have to have that natural passion to help people. And the reason why passion is probably number one and really, really vital when it comes to mentoring is because on those days where it's hard, where you lack motivation, where you're posting on your social medias or whatever you're doing and it's not getting enough engagement, or you're just exhausted, you're trying to get clients and you're not getting anything coming through, it can be so demotivating and really, really lonely. But if you have that true passion, your passion will help you to go on those low days, so having passion is definitely vital. I think as well, being honest. So if you're with a client and your client asks you a question and you don't know it or you don't have knowledge within that field, just to be honest and say, actually, I'm not too sure about that. Let me do a bit of research. Let me reach out to my network. Let's brainstorm on ideas. Don't pretend that you know the answer when you don't. It's just best to be honest with them. What I would say about mentoring is picking the right clients, and you don't need to take on every single client, because there's people that want to mentor but they expect you to do all the work. That's what mentoring is not about. That mentoring is about working with people who are willing to put in the work with you. So you're putting in 50% and they're meeting you at that 50% as well. Mentoring doesn't work as a 70-20 or an 80-20. It doesn't work that way. It's a 50-50 input. So work with clients who are willing to put in that work and that's got the time to put in the work, because it's a results driven business at the end of the day. So that's what I would say. Another thing that I've got put down as well is trust. Trust is a huge part in terms of mentoring, because you need to build that rapport and build that relationship with your clients where they trust that the guidance and the support and the advice that you're giving them is correct. So trust is number one. And I can give you an example. I actually have a mentor for myself. I've got two mentors actually. So I have a business mentor that helps me, and I also have a marriage mentor as well. So we have marriage mentors that mentor myself and my husband, and it's so important to have that, have that soundboard, have that guidance. Go to someone, when things are great, go to them. No marriage is perfect when things are not great, and just to get that support. And my whole motto on mentoring is, why try to figure it out on your own when you can get yourself a mentor that will guide you, fast track you along the way? That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah. And I agree, because sometimes we're beating up ourselves and thinking we can figure this out. We're trying to save money at the same time, and sometimes you just can't figure it out. You need someone to shadow you. You need someone who's walked the walk,
100%.
who's doing the talk, who understand the process, who's been through it, who's overcome many of the challenges along the way, to guide you, to help you through, to get you to the next level. And so sometimes I always tell women, one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself is to invest in yourself. Because when you invest in yourself, you're on a level of elevation. You're on that level of going to the next level. You're moving out of the comfort zone. You're going to the growth zone. So when you invest in yourself, definitely that profit will come back to you. Absolutely.
100%.
It will come back to you. But we have to understand and start shifting our mindset that we have to look at mentoring and coaching as a way to help us to develop. You understand? To teach us what we don't know. Sometimes we look at videos, we go and read books, which are great, but sometimes there's some hidden things that the coaches know. And when you sit down with a coach that really understands how this whole system works, you will definitely, see the success in your business or even as a career woman.
Definitely. I think, I've always said from the get-go, mentoring is vital. And there's different types of mentors. As I said, there's business, there's career mentors, there's marriage mentors, there's health and well-being mentors. There's different types of mentors, especially nowadays as well. So it's about investing in yourself, but then also it's choosing the right mentor for you, because you may have a mentor but you might not click with them, or the rapport is just not there, or you just don't feel comfortable. Just get a mentor that suits you, that you can work with. But then equally, for a mentor, It
Mm-hmm.
is about working, like what I said earlier on, is that working with the right mentees is important as well, because I've made mistakes and I've worked with mentees in the past and they haven't wanted to put in the work, and then
Mm.
it's almost like a blockage there. So it is, you don't need to say yes to every single person or yes to every client. It's about working
Mm.
with the right people.
Exactly. So, to all our listeners, if you want to actually achieve your goals and achieve some objectives, as well as, increase that level of, increase knowledge and elevate to the next level, I want you to get in touch with my guest today. She's able to help you through that process to make things a lot easier for you. And so these are the things that are so valuable when it comes to mentoring. You're able to definitely get increased knowledge transfer, job satisfaction. You're able to develop yourself as a leader as well and improve your skills. Because I believe in personal development. We all have to continuously be on this journey, because personal development itself, it's not a race, it's a continuous process. No matter what stage you're in, whether you're just starting as a junior or whether you are a supervisor, whether you've become a manager, you had to go through specific training to get to the next level. And so personal development, mentoring, all those things works hand in hand. And getting the right mentor is so important, because I've heard horror stories of, mentor and mentee clash. And we're not going to go into that, but absolutely you're right. But absolutely you're right in terms of getting the right mentor and making sure that you are both aligned together. When you're both aligned, things work. And
Yep,
even if
I
you have
agree.
maybe some challenges, you're able to iron it out and speak the truth, and just be authentic and be yourself. you know Absolutely. So yes, so I want to talk more about business. So what advice would you actually give to someone who wants to launch their own business?
So there's a few things. So number one, have a plan. Always have a plan, but be prepared and be flexible that things may change.
True.
The second thing that I would say is probably be consistent. Um, Even if it's, most people start off by, having their own 9 to 5, and then they do their second job in terms of their business in the evening. So try and be consistent, even if it's 1 hour a day,
Yeah.
just to be consistent with what you're doing.
Hmm.
Don't give up and keep going. It is so hard. It's very,
Yeah.
very lonely. It's difficult. You have a good day or a good couple of months, or you could have a really low season, and
Yeah.
that season could be a day. That season could last a week. That season could last a few months. But
Or even
just
some years.
exactly,
Let's be real.
exactly. It's so true.
Yeah.
Don't give up. And things to help you with that is things like I always write out my dream goals.
Yeah.
And I had this on a almost like a whiteboard. I have a mini whiteboard
Mm.
in one of the rooms. And when I'm having a low moment or a low season, I go to that board,
Mm.
and I look at my dreams and I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Yep, right. And that helps me to keep going. So some people have vision boards. I also have a vision board as well.
I love vision boards,
That
definitely.
that absolutely helps.
Yeah.
Um, just to go there, I'm like, right, this is why, this is my reason why. Keep
Mm.
going. Almost having that self-talk moment. But those tools do help on those really low, dark moments. um, have a good support network. I think
Hmm.
is very important as well.
Yeah.
Because yes, be your biggest cheerleader, but you need to have a
Mhm.
good support network where even if it's one person that you can go to, or your mentor.
Yeah.
If you've got a business mentor, this is where your mentor will come in, where you have that dialogue and support with them. Um, don't cut corners and do things properly. I learnt this the hard way. Was it
Mm.
last year? Yes, last year summer. I learnt this the hard way about cutting corners, and I'm still paying
Yeah.
for it now. Don't
Yeah.
cut corners. Do things properly. Just pay the money. Just do things properly, because it will come back to bite you in due course. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, get support and don't suffer in silence. And it goes back to this whole mentoring. I think that's so important. Um, I've also got it down here, and we spoke. You did touch upon it earlier on about investing in yourself. So I remembered when this was years ago, and I went to this like mentoring conference, and they were talking about, when you get your first client, invest back in your business. And I was thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. When I get my first client, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it's so true. When you get your first client, or when your money starts coming in, your income starts coming in, your revenue starts to increase, invest that money back into your business. And that could be a subscription, for example. A lot of people use Canva. Now Canva does two types. They do the free version, and then you get the pro version. So it might be that you invest in that. You might need to invest in having the full version of Zoom, for example. You may need to invest in a new laptop. You may need to invest in stationery, but put that money, that revenue that comes in, put that back into your business. Get yourself a mentor, get yourself on a program. Whatever it looks like, invest back into your business, because you would benefit from it in the long run. Buying a designer bag, okay, you're going to wear it, or whatever, you go to the spa, that's just an experience. But investing it back in your business, you will see the benefits, and the reap will come back to you. This one's again another personal one for me is, don't be offended if your closest or your nearest and dearest don't support you. Don't take it personally. Keep going.
Yeah.
And just don't take that personally, because I talk to a lot of people in business, and that's the one thing that they feel really disheartened, or they say, but I thought so and so would have supported, or whatever. There's no time to get emotional about it, or write it down, write your emotions out. I'm a writer now. I like to write my emotions down, write it down, and just kind of just leave it and just move on. You can't stew or play on that, because you've got things to do. Celebrate your wins. That's another one. No matter how big or small, it's so important to celebrate your wins. Like I keep saying, it is lonely when you're in business on your own, to celebrate those wins. And it could be a win like, I sent that email that I was procrastinating over, and it took me 3 weeks to send, but I finally done it. Celebrate those things. And the last thing that I would say is, be prepared to come out your comfort zone. And I'm going to touch upon that a little bit. So a few years ago, I hate public speaking, like absolutely hate it. And to the point where I started to go, this was before the pandemic, so I started to go to like courses or different like programs to teach me how to public speak. And the fact that I'm here today talking to you on this podcast, trust me, if this was like 3 years ago, I would have never have done anything like this. So come out your comfort zone and just keep working on those development areas, and you will be a master at it. I'm not saying I'm a master at it, by the way. There's still things I need to learn, but the fact that I'm here today speaking to you on this podcast, that is a massive win for me, because anyone that knows me knows I would never have done anything like this. So yeah, just keep coming out your comfort zone and work on those skills.
Honestly, you've definitely did you see my list? You must have seen my list. Because you've mentioned so many things that I also have on the list on the journey to starting a business. Absolutely. Be your number one cheerleader. I always tell all my colleagues and my members, be your number one cheerleader. Once you love yourself, listen, it doesn't really matter what others think about you. It's about when you feel good about yourself, you are comfortable within your skin, you love who you see in the mirror. All those things shapes up who you're going to be. So number one, be your first cheerleader. Love what you do, love on yourself. And I love what you said, celebrate your wins. It doesn't matter how small, how big, celebrate it. I celebrate every single win. And sometimes it's a very small win, but the way I will celebrate it, you think I've won the lottery. So when I do win the lottery, I probably won't even, say
Yeah,
much. Celebrate yourself because it matters. Because the more you
exactly,
celebrate the little ones, then you leave room for the big ones to come.
exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Absolutely. So all those points that you make, absolutely spot on, out of your comfort zone. Nothing happens in the comfort zone. Everything begins when you step out of the
Yeah,
comfort zone into the growth zone, because that's when you're going to see more possibilities, more opportunities.
this is
When you
it.
are clouded and you're wearing a mask, you can't see. Take off that mask, be yourself, and give yourself a chance to step out. Because what's going to happen? What's the worst that could really happen? Nothing, But if you don't allow yourself to really, challenge yourself, you will always be in the box. You will always be the same. Nothing will change. While
Mhm.
others are moving on and they're growing, you're still stuck,
This
you
is
know?
it. And I think one of the things I always say is I don't want to live a life saying I should have done that, I could
Exactly.
have done that,
Yeah.
or I would have done that. You
Right.
know,
I coulda, woulda.
I don't want to live that life. It's
Yeah.
this is what I've done. If I tried it, if it didn't work, it didn't work. But at least I know I tried, you know?
Yeah. True. Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for answering that really nicely. And I also wanted to know, what tips do you have in business owners becoming more organized? This is a
Oh,
really
number
big
one,
one.
big one. Have a to-do list.
Some of us are not organized, are we?
Number one, definitely have a to-do list. One
Yeah.
of the things that I started to do was so I used to get very overwhelmed with the volume of emails that come through. So
Oh, tell
I'll
me about it.
so I'll do emails,
Yeah.
and then by the time I've cleared some, another 20 will come in my inbox. And then by the time I knew it, the whole day was spent doing emails. And then my actual to-do list, I didn't get anything done.
And it's
So
so
what I
draining.
so what I do now is when I log on in the morning, I will do, it depends, 1 to 2 hours of clearing my emails. Then once I've cleared my emails, I turn off my emails so that I don't see any sort of notifications or anything. Depending on your industry, I
Mm,
even sometimes put my phone on flight mode, depending on what I'm doing, and that helps me to focus on my to-do list. And now with my to-do list, I have three types of lists. I have my actions that I need to do, then I have things that I need to follow up on, and then things that I need to either delegate or chase, or that I need an answer on. So I have three different lists, and then I just work through my list, and that's
mm,
what I'm pretty much doing throughout the whole day, working on my list or whatever I need to get done.
yeah.
And then 2 hours before my day ends, I jump back on my emails and then I clear my emails. So that's what I do.
Mm,
Um, I create a to-do list for the week. I used to do a daily to-do list, but I found that it used to overwhelm me, being honest. I just felt a bit overwhelmed by it all. So now I just do a weekly to-do list, and then I can figure out, okay, right, I'm going to do 4 things on my to-do list today, and I can tick it off, and I'm like, oh yeah, that I feel good about that. I feel like I've made progress. Another tip that I would say is, in either workplaces or in business, a lot of people tend to be in their head a lot.
yeah.
Get it written down, because I used to do that as well. I used to be all in my head, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, I need
Yeah.
to do that. And then I didn't write it down. And then because I've got everything in my head, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And then I start to get anxious. Then I start to feel stressed because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. And I get all stressed out when really the thing is so small that I've got to do. Just write it down.
Mm,
Um, what I would say is also is eliminate distractions. So again, I used to put my phone on flight mode, depending on the day. It could be that you take your phone away. I used to have a bad habit of doing work, and then I'll get a bit bored, and then I'll quickly go onto my Instagram for a bit, and then I'm scrolling, like, comment, engagement, and then 2 hours have gone by, and I'm like, I've just wasted my time. What have I done? So I used to put my phone upstairs, and then I'll work downstairs just to eliminate that type of distraction. And then the last thing that I would say is just to focus, really, just to try and focus, and just to get things done, really. That's yeah,
Fantastic. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely, for sure.
just to
I
focus.
think, yeah, many people can actually resonate. This phone is a problem, isn't it? To be quite honest. And we are so addicted to it. Let's be honest. We want to focus on our business, but sometimes it's almost like, right, let me quickly check what's going on Instagram.
Yeah,
Oh, let me go and check the email. Oh, let me check this, let me check that. So it's about knowing how to manage your time, productivity, knowing when to put it down, when to take it. And I'm actually speaking to myself as well, because I'm also, in that box as well. So you're definitely right in terms of making sure that you have a plan for the week, rather than daily. The week one really works a lot better because you know what you're doing from Monday to Friday,
this
which
is
is
it.
really, really good. Listen, time goes really quick when we are
I
having
know. I can't believe
fun.
the time already.
So tell the listeners where they can actually come and get in touch with you, your social media handles, or even your website as well.
Yes, so website's actually changing.
Yeah.
So I won't give those details out, but you can find me on Instagram, build your vision underscore cc, or on LinkedIn, Simone Phillips, or on email, info@buildyourvision.co.uk. You can always drop me an email and I can get back to you. So yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's really been an amazing conversation. How have you found the whole process in being on the show?
Loved it. I've had so much fun. You need to have me back because I feel like I haven't got everything out. We need to do part two.
That's it. Yeah, 30 minutes goes really
So
quickly.
quick. I
Yeah,
can talk for
absolutely.
ages anyway, so it's probably me as well.
And when you mentioned that, you're someone who doesn't really do public speaking and all that,
Yeah.
it's really funny because I'm someone like that as well. But people don't believe me because I run the Birth Your
Wow.
Vision podcast show. But I've had to give myself an opportunity to kind of step out of my own way,
Wow.
and step out into grace and just allow myself to just be. So I resonate with people like yourself where you say, oh, I actually don't like to do the lives. I don't really want to go, on live and do, or even speak in public places. But podcasting has actually helped me.
Yeah.
I'm in my comfort area and I feel happy and I'm very real, I'm very authentic, and just welcoming people to my platform for them to share their brilliance, which is really very
Fantastic.
an amazing thing to do. So everybody has a way that they can overcome, being more visible. You just have to find what it is that makes it comfortable for you, and I'm so glad that
Exactly.
I found mine, and so
Exactly.
and I'm glad that you are stepping on the stage by just reaching out to me. That's amazing. You are getting out of your way
Yeah.
to really ensure that you are, being visible, you're sharing your business because people want to get to know you, build your vision. We want to get to see the person behind, this brand. Who is she? What does she do? What rapport, does she bring to us? And it's really nice that you've been able to share this amazing tips and strategies
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me. It's been fun. I've loved it.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So, we have come to the end of the Birth Your Vision podcast. And I just want to say thank you so much to all our amazing listeners. And if you want to actually get updates as well as, more important information about what we're going to be up to within the next few weeks as we are going into the Christmas period very, very soon, things are moving really, really fast. Make sure that you click the link and also join our newsletter to stay updated with the latest episodes as well as many of the trainings that we're going to be doing. And if you really love what I do and you want to start your own podcast, then send me an email so that we can get this ball rolling. I'm running an 8 weeks podcasting coaching program for women in business and also corporate businesses, as well as, anyone who is interested in really amplifying their voice and making sure that they are increasing their visibility and their brand through podcasting. So make sure that you hit the link and get in touch with me, and let's get you out there and launch your own podcast. So until next week, take care, have a great evening, and keep supporting. Bye for now.
Bye.